IncomeLux.com Income Streams. Marcus, by Goldman Sachs. Best for a bank account that actually pays interest. Capital deposit to passive income. Interest income. Marcus is a simple online bank. You get a savings account that actually pays you interest, you get loans, you get certificates of deposit. Just open a bank account, transfer money, and you'll get near, or sometimes greater than, the rate of inflation paid out in interest. Now, here's the controversial part that really depends on how you feel about Wall Street. It's owned and operated by Goldman Sachs. That sentence either made your panties wet or sent a chill up your spine, but personally that makes me happy because they've always been good at making truckloads of money. And yes, I actually do some banking here. Who are they? Marcus is an online bank insured by the FDIC and ran by Goldman Sachs. Who is Goldman Sachs? Woo boy. Ask 100 people and you'll get 200 answers. Goldman Sachs is a bulge bracket investment bank based in New York City, New York. Marcus is their retail banking arm. How you get paid? It's simple, they get deposits, pay an interest rate, depending on savings account or certificate of deposit, and lend out money at a substantially higher interest rate. Here's the important thing, most savings accounts pay near zero interest or no interest at all. Marcus actually passes on some of their interest earned on loans back to you, the person who actually is funding their ability to loan by depositing money at the bank. In case you're new here, that's how banking has always worked. You deposit money, they loan it out, and return it to you. These banks paying you a 0% return on your deposits. They're ripping you all the way off. They've always been ripping you off. You're supposed to get an interest rate return on your deposits. It's what stops you from keeping the money in your mattress. That return helps reduce the effects of inflation while letting you withdraw or transfer money easily. Maybe you're upset you don't get the full loaned out interest. If you want to loan the money out yourself, which is high risk and illiquid, you can always use peer-to-peer lending solution. They have multiple vehicles to pay you. The first is the high yield savings, which was around 2.25% at time of writing. This was near typical long-term inflation rates of around 3%. It has no minimum balance, but you should fund it at opening to catch interest. It will rise and fall with the Federal Reserve deposit rate, so it may be substantially different when you're reading this. Compare it to the national average, not the original rate. Your goal is to pick savings accounts paying interest that are a multiple of the national average, preferably 4x, 5x. The second is the high-yield certificates of deposit. These range from a 6-month CD to a 6-year CD. It requires at least $500. Typically, certificates of deposit have a penalty if you withdraw early. This is separate from the interest payouts that you'll miss. Marcus also offers a no-penalty certificate of deposit. When I'm writing this, the length of time are between 7 months and 13 months. They have a minimum deposit of $500. An IncomeLux.com lesson. How you start. Pretty simple. Go to Marcus.com to start. Click the little 3-line menu or scroll to the bottom and look for Build Your Savings. This will have 3 options. You can choose high yield savings, high yield CDs, or no penalty CD. You'll have to open an account either way, which requires 3 basic steps. First you create the account, then you digitally sign documents, and you finally fund your account. While opening the account, you select your account type. If you want a certificate of deposit, select that and your term length. If you want a savings account, choose Online Savings Account. Afterwards, you'll put in your name, contact information, and employment status. You can have a joint account owner if you want, or you can add one later. If you are adding an account owner to a certificate of deposit, you have a maximum of 3 days. You can always call later to add one to a savings account. You'll sign the required documentation, read it first, obviously. Then you move on to the fun part, funding your account. You can directly link your current bank accounts, good move, to create easy transfers. You can also use ACH transfers, or wire transfers. Most importantly, and the best move, is after you transfer some capital directly to your account is set up direct deposit. Make your savings in your high-interest savings account automated. You can do yourself a huge favor automatically depositing just 5% or your paycheck or $200 a month. Risk, limitations, restrictions. There's a risk that the bank will go bankrupt, but this is low. It would require a mass failure of all loans to be repaid, which is highly unlikely. There's the possibility that inflation will outpace your savings, but this would happen with a low-yield account anyway. There are the minimum deposit limitations on certificates of deposit, but these exist everywhere anyway. Taxes. You'll pay taxes on the interest earned from returns on your deposit. Presume that this will be taxed at your normal income bracket and prepare for that, but it can be less under certain circumstances. This is an assume the worst but hope for the best type of thing. Congratulations on finding a new income stream using IncomeLux.com. Use the links on the page to get started. Do you want to see all 140+ income streams that help you boost your income to the levels you and your family need? These include the streams that are limited to members only. We regularly are adding more after using and reviewing them. You will also get to access our over 140 lessons on economics, investment, sales, and marketing, which come complete with 39+ economic datasets for reviewing the economy and investing accordingly, life calculators to ensure financial planning success, and ebooks that help boost your knowledge. What would all of that do for you? What about your family? Join IncomeLux.com/preview today to maximize your potential.